Welcome to another video here at Back to Classics, and today it's all about the Mercedes-Benz C55 AMG, a 2007 model year. So you guys might wonder, what does this rather modern, still 17-year-old car does on our Back to Classics YouTube channel? And the reason is that I need a daily driver for until the moment that my Alfa Romeo 75 is ready. And there's a whole story behind this particular car that we will share in this video. But for now, let's start with a test drive of this wonderful German machine. So how does this car drive? 17 years old, 310,000 kilometers on the clock, and still this interior, the sitting position, how everything looks, everything feels. Of course, there's a lot to do on this car, which we'll discuss, but I am very, very comfortable here on these AMG sport seats. Very, very nice. The car feels very solid. Brakes are incredible, by the way, as is, of course, that magnificent V8 engine with a huge amount of power. But that said, it is still a real Mercedes-Benz. It is very comfortable, and as long as you drive it like this, low in revs, automatic gearbox, it is a very docile, easy to drive car. It's quiet here, and you're behind this wonderfully designed dashboard in true Mercedes style, with some sporty touches like these gauges that are specific for the AMG version. Steering is rather direct, especially for a Mercedes-Benz. You notice that it is a true AMG in that department. Very nice steering wheel, by the way, also specific for the AMG. I very, very much like this car. It is on 19-inch wheels. Originally they were 18-inch, and of course that's what you notice when going over bumps. It is quite harsh. So that's something we can improve on, probably by fitting a set of 18-inch wheels. Oh yeah, lots of power there. That's really intoxicating, having that V8 power always ready under your right foot. But then again, if you slow it down, you get a very nice driving experience as well. Oh man, that is intoxicating, that V8 with nearly 370 horsepower. You do have to care for your license in this car. So let's slow down a little bit. I can easily see myself doing trips of 2,000 kilometers in this. No problem at all. It must be said, even on a rather bumpy road like this, slow speeds, after 310,000 kilometers, no squeaks, no rattles. Interior feels very good. I very, very much like this car. Obviously, a lot of things to address, but that's all part of the fun. Well, I wasn't actually looking for a car to pick up just yet, but a few weeks ago a known client of ours came visiting us at the workshop, and he mentioned that he was going to sell his C55 AMG. Now, being a bit of a Mercedes-Benz fanboy, and especially the early AMG models, I thought to myself, well, this might be an opportunity to get hold of one of these. I never owned an AMG before. I did own a Mercedes, but AMG, of course, that is something very, very special. And that is why I started looking into the C55, the W203 range, to be specific. Now, it has done 310,000 kilometers, which is a lot, of course. But after doing a lot of research, I must come to the conclusion that these cars are very, very reliable indeed. Also, because this owner of the car has owned it from new, or rather it was 6 months old, I believe, when he purchased it. It has been a demo car for the factory in Germany. That's when he bought it back in 2008. So that's how long he possesses this car. And I know the full service history of the car. Everything is done. If anything, the car has seen a lot of maintenance, and a lot of care has been taken to keep this car in a optimal condition. Now, there are a few things to do on this car, as we will discuss. But apart from that, it is a car with a known history, be it a high mileage. Still, I think this will be a nice project for me to endeavor on. Now, AMG over the years, it has a huge development, but this is, in my opinion, a car from the golden age of AMG, when it was technically a high-performance version of the W203 model, but still it was rather unstated. There is not much when you go on styling cues that this is actually a high-performance model. Of course, the connoisseur will notice that the bonnet is from a CLK and that the front is styled differently. The quad exhausts might give it away, the wheels of course, but that's about it. Other than that, it is still a rather normal looking family saloon, or in this case an estate car. It is not what AMG has become now as a sort of a badge that Mercedes puts on everything to sell, and has lost much of its meaning over the years. So in my opinion, this era of AMG cars, it is the pinnacle of what AMG stood for, high performance models based on normal family saloons or estates. Let's go over the history of AMG a little bit more. So the C55 AMG. Initially, the W203 C-Class came with the C32 AMG, which was a smaller V6 engine, and later on they changed that to the C55, the engine taken over from the E55 and the CLK 55 AMG. And in order to fit that V8 engine under the bonnet of the C-Class, the whole front needed a redesign, and in fact it was taken from the CLK. So where all other C-Classes of this type have a different bonnet, this one is specific for the AMG version, and the whole design of the front was taken directly from the CLK in order to fit that V8 engine under the bonnet. So let's have a look at that. That magnificent AMG V8, the M113. Now I have to ask our lovely assistant to hold this because the dampers are worn out. Little nasty here, a lot to do here as well, of course, but we can easily fix that. Here the Mercedes logo of this panel is gone, but here we can see the engine was built, handcrafted by Sandro Petricia in Affalterbach, of course, Germany. 367 horsepower, 510 newton meters of torque. So it's a very, very powerful engine. But in fact, quite a low-tech engine, so to speak, especially for a sporty car like this. It is a 3-valve per cylinder design and only a single overhead camshaft on each cylinder bank. So it's not a high-strung engine. It has its power mostly from the displacement of 5.5 liters, so it's quite a huge engine, of course. Red line is at 6,500 RPM, and this is a unit that was very, very known at the time and is a very, very reliable, as can be seen here with an engine that has done 310,000 kilometers. Now, of course, it needs a little care. So I'm going to check oil filter, of course, and perhaps also do a compression test, leak down test to see if everything is up to spec. But the feel that we get from this car is very, very good. So it's a very, very nice and powerful engine that can probably still go for another many, many thousands of kilometers. So the engine bay is quite filthy. That needs a little work. And this panel here, the Mercedes logo that's supposed to be on there is missing. But that's just a piece of plastic, of course. Looking good. Filthy but good. Yeah, let's get a pair of new struts for that bonnet. Some work to the front of this car that needs to be done. There's some nasty pitting on the bonnet that needs to be addressed. Of course, these headlights, these are definite need of a polish, so that's going to be done. And there is a piece of damage here on the lower spoiler, and that obviously needs addressing as well. Then we have to talk about these hideous wheels. Not only the fact that they are ugly and black, and I hate black wheels, especially on a car like this, but also they are completely worn. As you can see here, it is scuffed all the sides on all 4 corners. Even the tires are damaged, as you can see here. but the tires are worn anyway, so these can be thrown out, and we're going to fit the original wheels that luckily the owner has kept all these years. So we can fit the 18-inch AMG style wheels with fresh tires, obviously. And while we're at it, the brake rotors as well, they need replacing, so we might as well throw these in as well. Now, specific for this AMG model were these quad exhausts that are sticking out of the back. Apart from these exhausts, there is not much that is giving it away as an AMG model, other than the badge that is on the back, of course. But if you compare it to the modern AMG cars, which has a lot of styling cues, and in fact they throw an AMG sticker on everything that you can think of at Mercedes at the moment, but that I'm digressing. Talking about the exhaust, it is very, very quiet for a big engine like this. So we might want to upgrade the exhaust system a little bit to get a little bit more of that lovely V8 tone through when you drive the car. Of course, without making it too loud, because of course when the car still has to be a comfortable daily driver. So if you guys have any idea about what we can improve on that, what a good set of dampers probably is, please let us know in the comments, and I'm sure to check that out later on. Now, I'm not sure what happened here, but it seems that the protection foil is still on this piece of trim here, but the foil itself has worn. That'll take a few hours to get off. Minor detailing job is that there's a dent here, but that can probably be fixed from the back by a specialist that I'm going to take this car to. And there are a few dents, but very minor ones, on the side as well that we can take care of right away. And this looks broken as well. Now, much can be said about the quality of Mercedes-Benz cars through the years, and early 2000s were perhaps not the best quality era of Mercedes if you compare it to the 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s, of course. But still, if you close this door, that is proper engineering, people. Listen to that. Beautiful. So let's go over the interior a little bit. So the interior, well, what first strikes in this AMG model are these sport seats specific for the AMG. There are pieces of Alcantara in here. There is a nice AMG logo, and you see a beautiful quality leather is used to upholster these seats in. They're very comfortable, and also I'm quite big. I'm very, very tucked inside these sport seats. I'm very, very happy with that. Beautiful. What else? Of course, it is a standard W203 interior. Apart from the instruments that were specific for the AMG, again with the AMG logo and the rev counter that says V8. So you're constantly reminded you're underway with a V8 engine. Steering wheel as well, very thick, very nice. Steering is very nice, as we talked about. Automatic gearbox. Now this piece of trim has come loose, as you can see here, so that is something that needs addressing. Automatic gearbox, 5-speed on all AMG C55s. You could argue, why didn't Mercedes offer a manual option? But in true Mercedes style, they chose not to and only stick to that 5-speed automatic gearbox. So that's the only available option on the C55. Then we have here a hugely outdated navigation system that still uses a DVD. So that's, well, hardly to be used anymore. So I'm thinking about upgrading this as well without going to the Temu, AliExpress type of systems in here. But maybe, perhaps people have a good idea. So please leave a comment in the comment section below if you have any ideas how to upgrade this, and you have phone connectivity, etc. As that is a little outdated now, of course, being 17 years old. Then we have a climate control system around here and some buttons here. Apparently, and this is hardly a poverty spec car, I would say, but there are many of these buttons that are not used. What they all could do, I don't know, but yeah, that's not the nicest of Mercedes to have so many of these buttons so present in the center of the dashboard. It has a sunroof, of course, fully loaded. The interior is pretty filthy. There is a whole bakery down here in the cup holder. The previous owner must have had some croissants while driving. Very nice. But that obviously needs cleaning. The leather needs to be cured. Some interior floor mats, perhaps change those as well. So a lot to do here to make it clean, but apart from that, it is in a very, very good condition, especially considering the mileage. Because you often see worn out steering upholstery or worn out seats. Not in this case, it's still in a beautiful condition. Back seat as well, properly nasty in here, but we can sort that out easily. Leather again needs to be cured, but apart from that, it is a very good condition. There's also a fold down armrest with cup holders. 2 in the back. How would you think of that? That's not something Mercedes was thinking about, fitting cup holders in the front. But we'll have to live with that, I guess. So I think I just bought another car. What could possibly go wrong? Well, I am very keen on hearing what you think about this C55 AMG, the W203 range. And of course, what upgrades we could do on this car, like the exhaust we talked about and the navigation system, maybe other things you have in mind. So please let us know in the comments below. For now, we thank you very much for watching. Toodaloo-dokey, see you next time.